What if content isn't just content? It is a true reflection of what your brand represents. What you put out matters to social media, to the audience you're building, and the impact you're trying to make. So, in this episode, I wanted to drop game and share with you some thoughts to help you just jog your brain a little bit, just a little bit regarding the importance of an impact of your content. All right. So let me break this down because I was having a conversation with someone not too long ago, and we're just talking about content. And you may be feeling this pressure of like, okay, I gotta put out content every day. I gotta do this. I gotta make sure people see me and it's that I'm visible and I'm relevant. Oh yes, of course, content marketing matters. Being a content creator, that's pretty much the core of one of the things that we do, right, as creators. But I've been thinking about this, that simply just putting out content aimlessly on social media, again, on your YouTube channel, on your podcast, may not be the answer to leveling up. And let me break it down. So we did an experiment with a client, and it was a very consistent, like just put out output, output, output. And she was really consistent with her content. Now, at the end of the experiment, we did see an uptick, and there were some really good things that happened by just being consistent and pumping out content. But then again, we went back to the drawing board. I'm like, okay, you're pumping out a lot of content. It's a bit random. It's all over the place. This is good just to build some traction. But what if we become a little bit more intentional about the content that you're putting out, but also like, let's revisit the strategy. And that's what we did. And once we implemented a strategy, everything changed. The content was a little bit more curated, and it was more aligned to her business goals. And for you, my business-minded content creator, it's important to keep that in mind. That every creator, you need a core message, that unique value proposition. What is the thing that you want to be known for? And again, content should be the mirror of your brand. It should be to where if I see you, I know what you're about. Okay. The core message has to be defined. And then that's part of your strategy, is making sure, what is it when I click on your social channels or your bio, or I listen to your podcast, or I follow you? What is that thing that you want to be known for? And again, I say this because the problem that I'm seeing a lot of content creators, and you may be going through this now, is that when you're posting random content, all you're going to get back is random results. And it's hard to track that. You can track it. Social media does reward consistency and output. You'll get that. But is it really going to attract the right audience, the right clients? Is it really going to take you to the next level and generate that income and influence that you really are looking for? So I wanted to share this because I want us to start thinking about shifting our mindset from content mode, output all the time, to alignment mode. Let me say that again. As creators, it's time to shift from content output mode to alignment mode. That is the secret to having a successful content marketing platform, period. So I want to share just a few things that can really be helpful. Is what I always recommend to my clients is create 3 content pillars that should always point back to your brand's promise. You may be asking, does it all have to be, marketing and selling? No, that's not what I'm saying. So for example, let me give you an example. For me, I'll put myself on the hot seat. It's podcasting. Now, as a podcast marketing growth coach, there's about maybe 3 content pillars that I talk about that I want to make sure that it pointed back to what I do. Number 1 is going to be branding, podcast branding, understanding the importance of branding yourself, personal branding. Number 2 is definitely marketing, helping you become more efficient, more effective with your podcast marketing, being strategic about it, community building. All those are kind of sub pillars that I talk about. And then lastly, I would say that it's definitely mindset. If you've been following me for any time, you know that I'm very big into personal development. I think it's very tied into what we do as content creators. It's essential, for us to be able to be successful with having the mental mindset, that fortitude to be able to do the things that we do as content creators on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. It's important. It's essential. So those are the three content pillars that I always circle around. Number one, again, branding, it's marketing, and then mindset. Those are the things that I've been known for. And those are my superpowers. So I want to make sure that when I put out the content, it's going to be strategic and it's going to be under those buckets. Now, am I allowed to kind of veer off and talk about a little bit something else or whatnot? Yes, I could talk about news. I could bring in different aspects of podcasting and different things of myself, right? My family, and if I wanted to, and you can do that too. But I feel like you need three content pillars. So I'm going to challenge you to set that up and write down what are the three content pillars that I can position myself, my brand alignment that will get me to where I want to go. Because consistency matters. I'm not negating that. But intentional consistency is what is going to build brand loyalty. Let me repeat that again, right? Consistency matters, but intentional consistency is what's going to build your brand loyalty. So what I want you to do is I want you to do a content audit on your last 5 pieces of content. Look at it and be realistic. And if you want to have a friend to take a look at it, have somebody else to give you feedback. That's always helpful. And ask yourself, does this really align with my brand story? Did this really align with the brand promise? Does this align with the brand that I'm trying to position myself to be out to the world? That is a challenge for you. And then the other thing is I want you to define 3 content pillars, categories that will reinforce your brand. Whatever it is, whether if you're in fitness or real estate, parenting, spirituality, whatever it is, 3, my friend, 3 content pillars, buckets that you will put under your brand that will help you create brand alignment with you, your promise, and your audience. And then another thing, here's another fun question that I want to ask. You should ask yourself when it comes to, again, for our business-minded creators, especially for my coaches, consultants, speakers, service providers, asking yourself, what is, what does my dream client look like? What are their interests? What are the pain points? What do they look like? What ambitions do they have? Those are things that you should ask yourself, because by really understanding the pain points and the struggles and the hurdles that they're jumping over and really, but also understanding their ambition, like what are they aspiring to be also doesn't really get talked about. Create content centered around that to be able to get them those wins, to be able to get them to point A to point B, from B to C. Okay. So those are 3 things that I want you to implement. All right. Again, number 1, content audit. Number 2, define 3 content strategies, buckets. And then number 3, use that brand filter. Ask yourself, what would my dream client, audience member, what do they look like? What do they want? And define that. All right. So that is your homework for today, my friend. Hopefully that was helpful. Let me know if you want help identifying your ideal client, building a brand alignment. There you go. Building a brand aligned strategy. I can help you out. Hit me up. Let me know. I'm putting together some really good content centered around that. I do one-on-one coaching. I'll make sure that if you click on the top link in my show notes, it'll take you to some coaching links, some offers that I have. And also, if you just want to book a discovery call with me, we can just vibe and talk. I would love to hear what you got going on your side. And if there's a way where I can help out, I'll be more than happy to help you out. Okay. And share that. So thanks again for checking out this podcast episode on Creative Factor. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you. Thank you so much. Until next time, peace.